I'm going to show you how to grid tie your EcoFlow power station so that it can save you money every single month, every single day. We're doing that simply by connecting it up to the Stream micro-inverter. And you can see my cord is coming right along here. I'm plugging into a standard 120 volt household outlet. I'm going to even show you how to completely bypass the solar input limit on your power station to get mega solar. I guarantee you've never seen a video like this anywhere else. And be sure and stick around to the very end of the video because I'm going to show you a bonus hack to make this even more epic. I do want to say what you're about to watch is not recommended or endorsed at all by EcoFlow. In fact, this will void the warranty on your EcoFlow power station. This also involves working with a little bit of DIY electrical work that can be dangerous to you personally, as well as potentially cause property damage. So I'm not recommending any of you do this. I just want to bring this to you as a fun little hack and a piece of entertainment that you guys will probably find interesting. Let me show you how this is working. We'll start with the end. So this plug obviously goes into a standard outlet and it's fed by this micro-inverter, which is the EcoFlow Stream. Then I've fabricated some MC4 cables that come over here to these bus bars. I have a negative bus bar and a positive bus bar. So in addition to the 4 leads going to the micro-inverter, I've got 2 leads coming off the positive and the negative. One goes over here to the MPPT solar charge controller. That is if you want to really up your solar input. That is optional because the EcoFlow power station has a charge controller built in, so you can just use that if you want. We've got overcurrent protection on that line going to the external charge controller. And then coming over here, we've got overcurrent protection. And then coming up here, we've got this awesome plug made by WattCycle plugged into the extra battery port. And so in theory, we should be able to throw this switch and hopefully nothing blows up. 1, 2, 3, please don't blow up. So now with that breaker on, if you take a look here, we've got a flashing red light on the EcoFlow Stream. So all that's left to do is plug it in, just like that. And check it out, we've got a solid green light there, and we're exporting 1.17 kilowatts. Now, this is the EcoFlow app for the Stream, and it does give us, obviously reading on what's happening with it. If you notice on the EcoFlow power station, there is no indication that anything's happening with it. The only thing you'll notice is over the course of us filming here for a minute is this percentage is going to go down because at over 1,000 watts that microinverter is pulling, the battery in this little Delta 2 is going to be depleted in less than an hour. So now I've connected to the power station on the app here. You can see the Delta 2 right there. And once again, you can see there's zero indication that anything's happening. The AC is off, the DC is off, USB is off, everything's off. Has no idea that anything's happening, but notice that our percentage continues to tick down. We were 96, now we're 94. So it at least knows that it's depleting the battery, and you can also see right down here, it has an estimated time remaining of 43 minutes. Same thing on the screen of the Delta. So that gives you an indication, at least, of what's going on. Now, I live in the great state of Utah, where we can export up to 1,200 watts, which is what I've got it set on. But we can throttle it down to 360 watts, which may be a better solution for a lot of you because, this is going to offset your base loads. So if you're going to run it, quote-unquote, 24/7 using the expansion from your power station, you probably don't want, all 1,200 watts coming out of it, and it may not even be legal where you live. So anyway, there is that option. So let's go ahead and change that. And so now on the Stream app, you can see that we're only pulling about 360 watts. And you can see now our estimated time, instead of just 44 minutes, has changed now to about 2 hours on the power station. I've got 370 watt bifacial solar panels here. That is way more than the 500 watt solar input on the EcoFlow Delta 2 right here. So I've essentially doubled the solar input on this. And currently I don't have the Stream hooked up, and it is really bright out here. But up here above the numbers, it says recharging time. So it knows it's charging. And you can see here, it's estimating 27 minutes to fully charge at a 75% state currently. So it knows it's charging, and it has an estimated time of doing that. So now let's connect the Stream up and see what happens. Okay, so I've got the Stream all plugged in here now. And if we take a look at the app, we are producing about 1,160 watts. That's being backfed into the house. And the sun just went behind a partial cloud, but I want to show you something very cool. On the Delta 2, and I'm going to show you this on the app because it's hard to see its screen out here. Notice that it's saying 98 hours remaining. So that means it's actually making up a teeny bit of difference from what the solar is producing, but the solar is actually producing the vast majority of the power. So the cool thing is much like today, where we have, some passing clouds and what have you, the stream will run at full power. And when the solar isn't producing as much like it is right now, the battery and the EcoFlow Delta will make up the difference. Then when the sun comes back out, like is happening right now, the solar is going to ramp up and actually offset the full amount of power that the stream is consuming, and then push a little back into the battery. So we're making actually better use of the solar while the sun is shining with this setup. Plus, the setup actually allows you to grow your solar array substantially. Because we have the buffer of the battery, we were actually able to add maybe even more solar than what the stream could accept if you were to connect it directly to solar panels. So that way, a good chunk of the panels will do work that goes immediately to the stream, while still outpacing what the stream can consume, pushing power into the delta. And then as the sun goes down, or as it gets cloudy or whatever, then the stream will draw power off the delta and continue to offset your power bill more and for a longer period of time than it would if it was connected directly to the solar panels. So now it's really cloudy for a minute. And remember how we were 98 something minutes of remaining time on the delta before? See, now it's dropped down to 51 because it's making up more of the difference. But notice that our state of charge now has increased from the mid-70s to 80%. So you can see that it actually did recharge a little bit when the sun was really shining on these solar panels. Let's talk for just a second about the solar charge controller. I love this thing. Unfortunately, this brand doesn't sell it anymore, but the good news is the manufacturer still manufactures this, and then other brands just rebrand it their own. So I'll be sure and leave a link to it down in the description. But I just like that it has a built-in app, and I think its price point is really good. Is it a Victron? No, but it doesn't have the price tag of a Victron and has worked for me for a long, long time. I pretty heavily abuse this thing. I use it a lot for my projects and crazy ideas. I also want to put a plug-in for these stands that I'm using on these solar panels. This video is 100% non-sponsored. I got these stands from Powered Portable Solar. I'll be sure and leave a link for them down in the description. And you're not seeing the full kit here. What is also included are some straps and earth screws to secure a semi-permanent array without a whole bunch of work and effort. So this is perfect for large deployments of large solar panels in a semi-temporary or semi-permanent situation with the ability to fully adjust the angle. And you have the option of getting these stands on the front that boost the panel up off the ground for snow, or in my case, to not hurt my grass, because these panels get really hot. These are also really good for if you're renting and you want to deploy a massive solar array, but you can't install anything quote-unquote permanently. Deploy a whole array using these stands. They sit there, they do their work, generate a ton of power for you. You need to move, you literally fold them up, pack them up, and take them with you. So give them a look if you're interested. So check it out, you guys. The sun has come back out in all of its glory here. I'm sure we're just raking in the watts from those solar panels. Let's see. Yeah, so you can't read, but it says recharge up here, recharging time. You can see the little circles are running around, and it's estimating that from 72% right now up to 100, it will only take 35 minutes. And so now the solar is taking care of everything that microinverter is consuming, and then all of the extra that it's generating is going into the EcoFlow Delta 2. And it'll be ready for the next time a cloud passes overhead and we get a little reduced output. So this really helps kind of flatten your solar curve. On a normal chart, it builds, and then just, or on a cloudy day, kind of peaks and then valleys and peaks and valleys. Well, you could smooth that out by adding your power station in the mix and get daily use out of your power station that you paid good money for to lower the cost of your energy bill. You do not want to overload your battery capacity. That would be very bad. So pay careful attention, because I'm going to give you the formula to size things correctly. This is a 1 kilowatt battery, 1000 watt hour battery. Generally, batteries are good for a full 1C rate of discharge and charge. This battery here actually can go up to about 1200 watts, because if you speed the AC charging all the way up, it will take it. So it'll charge at about 1200 watts. The calculation would be don't add more solar than 1C of your battery capacity. So if I were to charge this battery at 1C, that would be 1000 watts. So we wouldn't want to connect more than 1000 watts minus the consumption of the microinverter. So let's say that we set this microinverter on 360 watts. That means I do not want to add more solar than 1,360 watts, or 1,400 watts. That way, if I'm at full tilt max capacity minus the consumption of this inverter, I will only be putting in a maximum of 1C charge rate to those batteries, and I know I won't overload those batteries. Does that make sense? So let's pretend that this was a Delta 2 max, so twice the battery capacity. And let's say that I live in the state of Utah, and I'm cranking this at the full 1,200 watt max output. So basically 2,000 watt hours plus 1,200, so that's 3,200 watts. So I could build a solar array that was 3,200 watts. 1,200 of that's going to immediately get consumed by the microinverter, and then the other potential, in perfect conditions, the other 2,000 watts would get pushed into the power station's battery. So by simply abiding by those calculations, you will not run the risk of overloading your battery. And then stating the obvious, I'm out here, running this test for you guys, but obviously your power station is not meant to, be outside in the elements. So you should definitely have it at least covered, well ventilated in the shade so it doesn't get hot, and better still, probably inside your house somewhere. But hang on, you say? A giant solar array like this and an external charge controller is all well and fine, but I've already got a charge controller built into my EcoFlow. Yes, you do, and you might as well make use of it. So why not do something like this? Build a big, huge array, and then go ahead and make use of that solar panel that's been collecting dust somewhere into your house. Get it out doing some work. This is one of my all-time favorite folding portable solar panels I've ever tested. I'll be sure and leave a link for it down in the description and the full review video so you guys can check it out. But now we're really talking. Look at this. So if we look here on the EcoFlow app, you can see now the Delta 2 is recording input because we've connected that 300 plus watt folding panel to its proper solar input. And really the thing that makes this all possible is this amazing adapter. I'll be sure and have everything linked. I've even got discount codes to that adapter and a bunch of this stuff. So I'll link all that down in the description with coupon codes and save you some money to get a setup. Now there's one more totally epic thing that you could consider with this setup. You could take advantage of time of use programming in the EcoFlow app. So go ahead and plug your power station into an AC wall plug, a different circuit than what your Stream microinverter is plugged into. I've got a whole video about why you don't want to have shared circuits and why you want to go with the dedicated circuit. I'll be sure and leave a link to that down in the description. But you could actually charge the battery up off peak hours, right? Or maybe you charge it up to 50% or something so that you have room to absorb extra solar power, and then it stops and you push power back during peak hours. So you could kind of triage your power consumption and production and different things like that based on the time of day, and you just get a tremendous amount of added flexibility while using your power station. So lend me your thoughts down in the comments. What do you guys think of this setup? What issues do you foresee? What additional hacks or things could we do to make this even more epic? Let me know. I read them all, and a lot of the time your comments is what spurs new content and new tests. So let them fly. I love hearing them, and they also really help with the YouTube algorithm. So I really appreciate your time to pause and leave a comment. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hype. The 5 free things that really help small YouTube channels like mine. I'll tell you what, you guys, YouTube is a really tough place to be in right now. I'm not sure what is going on with the algorithm, but something is making it really tough for content creators. So if you would please do as much as you can to help boost the video, get it out there in front of eyeballs, I would really appreciate it. This kind of setup and video takes a lot of time and effort. You see the nice recording, but what you didn't see is all the setup to get it ready to go and all the assembly and everything like that. And then you're not going to see all the cleanup, and you're not going to see all the editing, and you didn't see a good chunk of the filming either, because it gets edited down and distilled in multiples of hours of footage into a few short minutes. So unfortunately, I have to work a real full-time job to actually pay the bills, and I do this on the side. Anyway, this is a very time-consuming, expensive hobby. So if you appreciate that I'm out here on a Saturday using my Saturday time to make content for you, reciprocate a little bit if you would. I would really, really appreciate it. And this isn't the last hack. I've got at least 2 more hacks on what you can do with this power station now that we have this adapter cable, plus all the other videos I've made about it that I will leave a link for down in the description, namely attaching two cheap third-party expansion batteries, as well as paralleling two of the power stations together so that you can expand them with another power station without buying dedicated expansion batteries that do nothing besides expand capacity. So check those out. All of you stay safe, and we'll catch y'all next time.